Over the past, well, 3 years, there has been a very big question mark over what happens to, well, UK science. We were part of something called the Horizon program, and this was like the big EU umbrella scheme that funds essentially a ton of different science, research, all kinds of different types of technical development stuff that the EU has going on. And the UK it was part of the EU, it was all part of that. And one of the things that at least was hoped for by many scientists, that when Boris Johnson was doing his big oven ready Brexit deal, was that we would remain part of these programs. Because many of these programs, British, scientists had put thousands of hours of work into to stuff that would still be going on post Brexit. And of course, they wanted to be part of these programs still. You may remember just what was it? It was last year, indeed. We had heard about a number of scientists who were part of these different research programs that were part of the whole Horizon framework. They were basically going, well, because you're a scientist and you're based in the UK, sorry, you can't be a part of it anymore, which was causing huge problems to science. And for 2 years, indeed, because of, well, essentially the UK's refusal really to follow the Northern Ireland Protocol, the EU had basically said, look, if you are not going to follow the Northern Ireland Protocol, something you signed up to do, then you cannot be a part of these other programs. And Horizon was one of them. So ultimately, for the past 2 years, there has been almost no development in these these programs. And remember, the Horizon project itself is worth something like 88 point, like I think it's like 88.5 billion dollars, something like that. I think in total, sort of the amount of funding that's there. Indeed, I think it is one of the at least in the world, when you look at this type of funding, is one of certainly the biggest in the world, where the people have access to, and programs of its type. So the UK obviously not being a part of that damages sort of UK science on a massive fundamental scale. But now there has been this new Windsor framework, this new protocol deal, like say whatever you want to call it. There is now an opportunity for us to be a part of the Horizon program again, and this will benefit British science again. So we're going to go and have a look at what the Royal Society has said today. Well, no, not today, but just a couple of days ago, about this breakthrough and about how us not being a part of the Horizon is sort of bad for us and would massively benefit British science. So we're going to go have a quick look at what they have said about this, because I think it's very worth going over. But before we do that, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those who do help and support the channel that way. And of course, on with this. So, of course, this comes directly from the Royal Society website. The title of Sir Adrian Smith, the president of the Royal Society, has said that with the Northern Ireland Protocol impasse resolved, we need to swiftly secure access to the EU's internal research programs. We welcome Ursula von der Leyen's comments to progress the association as soon as the Windsor framework is implemented. It is more than 2 years since the government agreed association to Horizon Europe, Euratom, and Copernicus. Again, Copernicus, by the way, massive GPS system that is the essentially the direct competitor to the US's GPS system. So us being a part of that, massive bonus and massive boost, not only to UK to UK science, but technology as well, being a part of that. So back to it. So this 2 years delays, pardon me, have damaged science across Europe. Those schemes support outstanding international collaboration, and the sooner we join them, the better for everyone. The government has stated that the UK is more committed than ever to strong research collaborations with our European partners. And in light of the recent return to the Treasury of a 1.6 billion underspend that was intended for the association to Horizon Europe, it is reassuring that Treasury sources are now reported as saying that the money will be spent in subsequent financial years. Now, of course, the question of if that money gets spent, if that money gets spent on Horizon Europe, that is the big question. But I think being part of these programs, ultimately, I think that may be at least the intention. But unfortunately, the new guy, I can't remember the name now, but the new partner in charge of sort of the digital and science part of the new sort of cabinet has expressed an interest in trying to create something very similar with Horizon, being with the UK, the US, Japan, and I think South Korea wanting to do something with them. I don't know. Again, that type of framework will take time to sort out. But meanwhile, Horizon is there. It is something we can just join, and it's on our doorstep. And it would be something that we're already part of, already working with, already have those links with. So it would be absolutely foolish for the UK to snub its nose at this when we've already heard from Ursula von der Leyen just a few weeks ago when she was here announcing the new Windsor protocols. That again, once these are implemented, well, then now we can join with Horizon Europe. So I think ultimately this will be a massive good step forward. And of course, it will be one of the many things that we have said that we want to be part of, because it's not just, as was said there, the Horizon program, Euratom, also massively important that we are part of. That helps with trading different nuclear materials. This is, of course, not just to do with things like nuclear energy. It's a ton of different things to involve with radiation for medical purposes, and a ton of different things. So the fact that we can be part of that again is also certainly a massive something that we did we did make videos back on about us not being part of that, and of course the problems that will create potentially for cancer patients not being able to receive chemo because obviously we're not part of Euratom, and of course that is very much dependent on how it works into all customs degree and regulations, as you've seen with fresh fruit and vegetables. Just apply that same logical thinking. Now we're out of that, but out of that, what could then potentially happen to these medicines that require things for like chemotherapy and so forth? So it's honestly would be foolish for the UK to snub this. I do hope we are going to be part of this, but having seen the direction of Rishi Sunak being a lot more pragmatic in his approach to being the EU, not being the antagonist that certainly Boris Johnson was, that certainly Liz Truss was, and he's far more ready to do sort of these types of deals. That is good. That is a step in the right direction. So I'm very, very pleased, to be honest, that the UK will once again be part of the Horizon scheme. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and of course, we'll see you all next time.